Hello guys, what is up and welcome back to my channel. I know this is the month of Ramadan and a lot of my Muslim friends around me are asking me questions about how they should be fasting, why are they feeling so tired. Some of you might be gaining weight during this month and some of you may not have enough energy to do your work or exercise. So I thought I would make a video to address all of these questions and help you achieve your weight loss goals during this month as well, coming right up.
3, 2, 1.
By the way guys, if you're new here, my name is Sepi and I've lost about 50 pounds over the past few years. I also got a certification from Stanford University recently in nutrition and I'm so excited to share all of my knowledge with you guys in this channel. So if you're into weight loss, please consider subscribing. My first tip for you is to avoid dehydration. In order to do that, you need to know how much to drink and when to drink exactly, especially because during the month of Ramadan, you're doing a dry fasting, so you're not drinking a lot of water and your body is really flushing down a lot of minerals, so you're gonna be low in a lot of minerals. So you need to really pay attention on, when to drink water and how to drink water. And I'm gonna explain that in a second. Also keep in mind that dehydration is not only going to make you gain weight, it's also going to reduce your brain power and it might actually increase your blood pressure. So it's really important and you really need to pay attention to this. So normally during the month of Ramadan, a lot of people have either 2 or 3 meals. So you need to make sure you drink at least 4 glasses of water with each of your meal except for iftar. Before iftar, because you fasted for so long, your body has lost a lot of minerals. So if you give it a lot of water, your blood is going to be really diluted, so you're not going to get a lot of minerals in your blood, so you're going to be deficient in it and you have to be super careful about what you're eating, about your supplements and everything else. In order to not have to worry about that too much, make sure you open your fast with salt. And salt, what it does, it has Na and Cl, and these ions are in your blood. What they're going to do is that they're going to open the gateways for the nutrients to go into your cells. So when you're dehydrated, the first thing you want to do is to have a lot of salt. Even if you want to have it with a piece of apple or something, a piece of fruit, have a lot of salt, or just by itself. I like to have it by itself, and it's just going to get your body very ready to absorb the nutrients that it needs. So right after you've had your first meal, and I'm going to explain to you in a second what you should be having for your first meal and what is ideal, you have to have at least 2 full glasses of water. It's going to help you boost your metabolism, it's going to hydrate you, and it's going to do all the good stuff that hydration is going to do for your body. And the most important thing is that it's going to help you lose weight and basically boost your metabolism, right? Number 2, so what is the most ideal first meal? A lot of my Muslim friends that I talk to feel really hungry after a fast, and they feel like they have to indulge in a lot of food. So they have a big bowl of rice with a lot of meat and avocado and salad, so they feel satisfied and full. But what I want you to notice here is that your body doesn't know what to do with all of that food all of a sudden, first of all, because it's not maybe so used to those bigger portions. So you need to make sure you keep the portions small, and also your body is going to think that you're going to starve it tomorrow. So what it's going to do is that it's going to store most of that food in your fat cells just in case it's going to need it for tomorrow, since you're going to starve it again, right? And that's exactly what you don't want. You don't want to store fat, you want to lose fat. So you don't want to have a large portion of food as your first meal. So normally what I would recommend as your first meal is either dates or bone broth. Dates, I would recommend it to people who work out. So it's really nice to have 1 or 2 days, maybe 3, depending on what your calorie needs are, and then hit a workout right after, because it gives you so much energy. It has a lot of fiber, it's healthy, it has healthy natural sugars, but the sugar is pretty high. It's about 30 grams per those 2 or 3 pieces. So you got to keep in mind, is if you're going to be really strict with your weight loss, or if you've hit a plateau, maybe dates is not something you want to go with. But if you feel comfortable, you feel like you're gonna hit a really hard workout after, you could just have a couple of dates with tea and water and hit it, do a HIIT workout and get back to your next meal afterwards. Or if you want to be really super careful with your calories, bone broth is a very good option. Some people would like to have that with honey. So on some days you could do honey and bone broth, which still has sugar in it, so it helps you with a lot of energy. You could hit a workout after and you're gonna feel full. You give it an hour and then you have your next meal afterwards. So the most important thing about your meals during this month is to really still count your calories and know exactly what your calorie needs are. I will leave a calculator in the description below so you can actually calculate how much calories you would need depending on your activity level. Once you know that, you can break that apart, maybe divide it by 3 and figure out how many calories you can actually have in each meal. So as long as you stick to those calories and you're making sure that you're sticking to that and you're eating a lot of healthy, natural, whole foods, I promise you, you're gonna still hit those weight loss goals. Okay, so this is something I hear about all the time, and when I started my intermittent fasting journey, I went through the same thing. So please let me know in the comments if this is something that you guys have experienced and you can relate to. So right after you have your last meal, a few hours into your fast, you feel like you're going to crash. You feel like you're losing a lot of energy. You feel this sudden real hunger that's gonna hit you and you don't know how to deal with it, and it happens on a daily basis. It's not like you're going to get used to it. So let me know if this is actually something that you guys can relate. Let me know in the comments, but there is a solution for this and I've figured it out, and I'm so excited to share this with you because this is a very common question that I get from everybody: how to avoid that sudden hunger after your pre-fast meal. So the reason you feel really hungry after a few hours into your fast is because your blood sugar level is high. You've had a lot of carbs or sugar, and then after a few hours you're going to crash. It's the sugar high crash that you're going to get after your first meal, and in order to avoid that, you have to make sure your pre-fast meal has a lot of fat and a lot of protein and the minimum amount of carbs possible. If you can just keep it at 0, even better. The most ideal situation would be that you could wake up an hour earlier before suhoor, hit a 15 or 20 minutes of HIIT workout, and then have a couple of eggs, avocado, maybe a little bit of tomatoes and beans, and maybe have your fish oil supplements, because that's the best time that it gets absorbed through your body because you're consuming a lot of fat. So that would be the most ideal pre-fast meal, and maybe a little bit of fiber. Well, you could get the fiber from avocado, but you could have some greens on the side as well. Now, a lot of us think that if you have a lot of carbs, because it gives us that feeling of fullness and we feel like, okay, we're full and we're happy and satisfied, that is going to keep us very full and energized throughout the day, but that's exactly the opposite of what we want. What we want is really sustainable and long-term energy throughout the day, and we don't want to be crashing. And carbs and sugar are the number one reason that's going to make us crash. So we need to stay away from that as much as possible, especially for our pre-fast meal. So let's say you had a little bit of carbs right before your fast and you're worried about your blood sugar and you want to keep it as normal as possible. You could have apple cider vinegar, you could have a little bit of barberry or barberry extracts, you could have broccoli sprouts, and these are some of the few things that you could use to make sure you could achieve that goal. So let's talk about supplementation, and the reason it is so important to pay attention to supplementations and your nutrition is that you're reducing your calories a lot during this month, and especially if you're not used to intermittent fasting, this is something you want to pay really careful attention to. Especially if you're working out as well, you might experience weakness, fatigue, you might experience headaches, constipations. So if you don't pay attention to supplementation, you're gonna have to deal with all of these different issues every day. So you're not gonna have enough energy and you're not gonna be in the right mindset for weight loss or working out if you're constipated for for a whole week. So let's talk about that now. The best thing for energy, I would say, especially before your morning workouts, is creatine. Creatine provides a lot of energy. There's a lot of pre-workouts that you could use. I've actually made a video on it. I'm gonna list it right up here and in the description below, so you could watch that later on. I talk about which pre-workouts I like, what's in them, which one is the healthiest. So if that's something you're into, make sure you check it out later. But for now, I really suggest having pure creatine before. Find a good brand and use that in the morning, fasted. It would be the best time to do it. But if you're working out in the afternoon, that's fine too. You could just have it, like let's say if you had dates, you would would have a scoop of creatine, and you would do your workout afterwards. Glutamine is also one of the best supplements that you could use. It is in some of the pre-workouts that I listed in that video, but if you didn't want to get a pre-workout, glutamine is also a good supplement. It helps with your gut function, and it also provides a lot of energy. Believe it or not, a lot of people are deficient in magnesium. We actually need about 220 to 300 milligrams a day of magnesium. You can naturally find magnesium in pumpkin seeds. They have about 164 milligrams per ounce, and in almonds they have about 80 milligrams per ounce. But you know what, that may not be even nearly enough, because as I mentioned, we need about 220 to 300 milligrams a day, and in order to maybe reach that goal, we need to supplement on it. And make sure you don't buy very high dosages of magnesium, because it is a laxative and it may cause a lot of issues for you in the bathroom. So when to exercise, how to exercise, and how can you have enough energy to exercise. Now trust me, if you follow the tips that I mentioned throughout this video, you will have enough energy to exercise. You could do it in the AM or in the PM, whatever that is comfortable for you. If you've had really bad experiences in the past and you felt so exhausted and so hungry, please make sure you follow these tips and you should feel really good. It may take a few days for you to get adjusted to the new calories and the new routine that you're following, but you will get used to it. Maybe in the first few days, do some yoga and some resistance training a little bit, and don't push too hard until you get so used to it and you start feeling good. If you follow these tips and you still feel like you're tired and you're exhausted, make sure you see a doctor, do a blood test, and make sure that everything's, in check. You have all the minerals and all the macronutrients that your body needs, and you're not deficient in anything. If you have problem picking food and you're not sure what you should be eating during this time, make sure you download my free program. The link is in the description below. All you have to do is to type in your email and I will send the program to you. The program will actually have a tracker in it, so it will help you get rid of the bad food and add really good foods to your diet. Make sure you download it and let me know what you think of it. My last tip, but not least, is to help you not gain weight after this month. You have reduced your calories. You've gone through this whole 30 days. You've done your prayers. You're feeling amazing. But right after this month is done, a lot of people tend to go back to their old habits and, just normal eating, having 3 or 4 meals or even 5 meals during the day. And you might notice a lot of weight gain all of a sudden. And how do we actually avoid that? The main reason that this happens is that number one is that you're not mentally in that phase anymore, and number two, your body has slowed down its metabolism to adjust your new eating routine. So you need to slowly switch back to normal eating if that's something you want to do. You can continue doing intermittent fasting. I do recommend alternate fasting. That's when you fast for a day and you eat regularly in a day. That way you always keep your body guessing. Your body's not going to slow down its metabolism, and it's going to continue burning fat throughout, and it's proven to be one of the most effective intermittent fasting weight loss routines. So alternate fasting is what I initially recommend for you. If you didn't want to do fasting at all, I recommend to go back to maybe having 6 meals a day every 3 to 4 hours to make sure you actually speed up your metabolism so you're back to normal. You still have a fast metabolism and you're still burning calories and you're not fasting. You just have to make sure that your meals are super small. You have to find out, again, using the tracker down in the bottom, you can calculate how many calories you need. If you're not sure how to do that, you could actually book a consultation with me. The link is also in the description below. You can find a lot of good stuff in the description. So make sure you go there, you check it out, book a consultation with me. It's free for 30 minutes. We can chat and we can come up with a plan for you. You also can't forget that cheat meals and cheat days or cheat weeks will happen. There are going to be events. Your birthday, your friend's birthday is going to come up and you're going to have cheat meals. So that's something you also want to keep in mind. First of all, you have to make sure you prepare for it mentally. Don't let it really get to you. If you're really doing well with your weight loss, I've made a video on how to recover from a cheat meal. I will also leave the link of that in the description below. So make sure you check that out. But in general, don't worry about, cheat cheat meals. We all have it. I have it. I go through ups and downs and weeks that I do really bad and weeks that I do really well. What's important is that you bounce back into your normal routine. And in order to do that, you have to make a normal routine. You have to stick to a routine for at least 3 months so it becomes your core. And every time you deviate from it, you could go back to that, routine, and you can continue with your healthy lifestyle. But if you keep interrupting that main core of yours, that's never going to happen. So make sure you give yourself 3-4 months to build that core, build a healthy routine without any interruptions, without any cheat meal. Sacrifice whatever you can for that. And then once you have established that, it's okay to have cheat meals. It's okay to deviate from this plan, and you can always go back to it as long as you remember this core plan of yours. I think this is the best tip that I could give anybody, regarding weight loss or anything else. Other than that, this is it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this holy month of Ramadan and you can stick to your routine and still achieve your weight loss goals, and you can recover from all of this right after and get back to your routine as usual. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I put a lot of time and effort into it, so I would really appreciate if you guys liked it. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for more videos from me. I would really also appreciate your feedbacks and comments, so make sure you drop them in the comment section below. Thank you again for watching. See you in the next video.